Good day. I have with me Sunil Malhotra, a longtime friend, but more than that, a very interesting entrepreneur. He's got fingers in too many pies and he seems to like it that way. Sunil Malhotra is a graduate of the National Institute of Technology, what used to be called the REC Trichy. He's an entrepreneur. I don't think he's ever had a job. He has founded a company called Idea Farms, which, apart from having a most interesting name, has got its fingers messed up in mixing creativity with engineering and technology. And to add to that, we have social commitment, which has been part of his baggage for a while I pretend to do the same sometimes to help him or humor him. What we're going to be discussing today is his project or initiative called Humor the Virus, which is also about, well, which is all about the coronavirus and the impact it has had. But where is the difference? That some people like to feed the poor migrant workers, some people try to do healthcare initiatives. What the initiative that Sunil Malhotra and his very interesting bunch of collaborators or comrades in arms have done is to start something called Humor the Virus, and a project sort of to spread awareness and induce sort of behavioral changes in uh, how India, nation of 130 crore people of all sorts, deals with a public health emergency. So I'll get started on the idea of how you can mix uh, a humor with a very dangerous flu. Sunil, welcome. And I'm going to ask you a very simple question. I always thought you had an infectious sense of humor, but I didn't know that you had the coronavirus in mind. So you have to tell me, how did this idea of the humor the virus begin?
So let me start by complimenting your T-shirt and the message on that, that success is
Wait,
curable.
it says success is curable, huh?
Absolutely. So that actually is part of the answer to the question that you asked. Okay, so let me start with a quick background. So the background was that, while the lockdown is one of the measures to flatten the curve or to make sure that the exponential rise of the virus does not happen in India, what we looked at was that there are certain behaviors that are going to sustain themselves even after the lockdown gets lifted. Many of these behaviors that we have already accepted today have to continue because this is a long haul. This is not something that's going to end on the 40th day kind of a thing, right? That's one. The second is that people have also got a fear and they have problems associated with isolation. So that fed into it to say that can we use humor, can we use wit, can we use pep talk, can we use different formats and use social media platforms, because this is a rich man's pandemic actually. It's not a poor man's thing, right? It's a rich man's thing. It's come from people traveling across the world, and that's how the pandemic actually reached India and Italy, for example. So this is the why of this whole Humor the Virus initiative.
In other words, the fundamental point is that you're taking what is essentially a government sort of a plan or initiative and adding the power of community, creativity, and collaboration to it. Is that right?
Beautifully put. Beautifully put. That's exactly very succinctly put. So as you can imagine, you see, it requires social media expertise, and how do you use social media? It requires a lot of technology. It requires a lot of psychology and behavior science. It requires communication. It requires creativity. So we said, typically in the old world, I call this the new normal. In the old world, all these were vertical silos. You went to a graphic design agency for communication. So what we started thinking about was, how can we get a group of people? We believe that everybody has a level of creativity, and if we bring them together on a cause, or it's a cause that's common to all of us, you are going to be able to get the right levels and the types of creativity that are really required for this kind of initiative to sustain itself in a democratic sort of way.
So basically, it's like a giant crowdsourced advertising or creative agency.
Yes, exactly.
Except that we aren't selling toothpaste, you're selling social awareness and behavioral change linked to the post-virus universe.
Actually, I think what we are trying to do is we are trying to sell feel good when it's really needed.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting, but I think we'll have to probably amplify this, Sunil, in a more um, structured way because of two things. One is that we live in the WhatsApp universe where people are anyway forwarding and spreading messages, whether they are that's sometimes fake news, sometimes rumors, but sometimes there's also amazingly interesting, creative, constructive messages. Uh, so you have to answer the question on what does your initiative do that a simple WhatsApp virals don't, and why and how you do it.
Okay, so
Why is sort of known, how you mean?
right. So we covered the why. I think we covered the why. Now what you're talking about is the what and the how. Okay. So let's come to the what we are trying to do. But before that, uh, let me just also bring the collaborators, the core collaborators, into perspective again. So I talked about Lopez Design and Anthony Lopez driving a certain agenda or a certain part of the agenda. Then we have a gentleman called Lloyd Matthijs. He's a person who's been with Pepsi, with Tata Teleservices. He's a person who's an investor these days. Very high level tech guy. I mean, he's not so much of a tech guy, but he's got a very, very acute business sense. Very sensible person. So he's also come on board. I mean, he's been there right from the beginning, and he is helping us with two things. One is that he's actually uh, driving the entire behavioral initiative. You know, what are the behaviors that need to be changed? What are the behavior scientists that need to come together, etc., etc., etc. And he's also introducing us to people that can get us funds that are initially required to seed any of the stuff that we're trying to do. For example, the tech pieces, the web pages, etc., etc., etc. Right. So that's Lloyd. So there are three core players, if you ask me from this perspective. So one is Lopez Design, one is this, and then there's a mad group of guys from my company, Idea Farms, who have been with us all the way through. And many of them left for greener pastures and to go and actually explore what they could do outside Idea Farms. So what we did was I tried to do, I went out on a limb, I contacted several of them and said that, this is like a revival of a rock band. We're just coming together now to do our last performance because we wanted a very urgent way of doing and to test whether the Idea Farm spirit was actually something that had taken root. And they
Mm.
all signed on, right? So these are not employees, current employees of Idea Farms. These are people we call alumni of Idea Farms. They're
Mm.
crazy people.
The
And
Rolling
you'll see,
Stones live.
yeah, exactly. So,
Okay.
so, so because this is because of the energy of this group, my job has become very easy because I'm not doing anything. All I'm doing is, I'm just inspiring people once in a way to say and trying to do a little bit of project management. The rest of it, all the work that you will see, the animations that have been created, etc., are totally done amongst these groups, especially the Idea Farms alumni group, and they're having a lot of fun. If I shared with you the WhatsApp group that we have, I mean, you'll roll on the floor laughing. I'm telling
Okay,
you.
I think what you have to do is let's before we come to the creativity part, and of course we've handled the who have come together on this, but there is also the element of how they are doing it. You have a technology platform, right? So tell us about that. What kind of platform is this, and how do people actually collaborate apart from WhatsApp messages and all?
So we are using only existing stuff. So we use Trello for collaborative, keeping most of our stuff together and knowing, what's being done at what stage, etc., etc. So there's a collaborative tool called Trello. A lot of people use Slack. It's something like Slack, right? So that's for the collaboration of the group. It's a pretty open group. We've shared the link with people. They can come into the group, right? And have a look at what we're doing on Trello. The second is WhatsApp. WhatsApp is where we share all the fun stuff that we're doing and also check on, does anybody need any help, etc. And then the subgroups can be formed out of that. And the third one that we're using is the whole Google suite of Google Docs and Google Slides to make sure that all the stuff that's being created is put out there so that we know, okay, this has been uploaded on this space. As we speak, we are also developing a platform of our own because what we think is that people should be able to not only become members of the Creative Collective and the Humor the Virus Collective, but they should have their own pages. They should be able to create stuff based on the guidelines that Creative Collective and us we are creating together. And then they should be able to post stuff. They're almost like a photo album or any of these places, Getty, that you went to. And the public could go there, take a look at stuff that they like. If they wanted to share it, they could share it across
So
platforms.
it's
So
not
they
as if
could
there
share
is
it on
one website.
Instagram.
It's not
No,
as if
there
there
is
is
no
just
one web. Finally, there will be two places. So there is an internal set of tools that we're using, and there will be a public face, which is most probably going to be a combination of the Creative Collective and Humor the Virus. These will be two landing pages, right? Over a period of time, I think that we should make sure that even Humor the Virus gets subsumed by Creative Collective, because there should be just one place that people go to, which is top of mind. So the government and other stakeholders, as well as the public, can just go to the Creative Collective and they can track what's been going on, what is the status, and what's the new stuff that's coming out there, and freely and democratically share the stuff that's available on the digital side of things. The other interesting part is what Anthony and I, when we discussed it, we said, let's hope that this doesn't go into the urban, semi-urban and rural areas, but God forbid it actually does get there. We cannot rely only on digital platforms and on WhatsApp and stuff like that, right? We need to be able to have on-ground, similar type of communication that should be possible to get to people there. And for that, Anthony's team has actually created a toolkit and a set of guidelines that NGOs, health workers, and people like that can actually pick off of the website and have a DIY, that is do-it-yourself kind of kit that they can do offline beyond the digital platform and go and do it like almost all NGOs do in other areas of social work.
okay. Now let me ask you to tell me about the technology platform. Isn't that, I mean, you are talking to the government or something, and there is a plan to actually create a very organized sort of a flow, right? So tell us about that kind of a. Yeah, I mean, how is the government involved, and or plans to, or what is the plan to involve the government, so that how can you probably use this material to systematically take it across the country? Let's say, suppose there is a district collector in uh, uh, Chhattisgarh who wants to use your material. Is there any way we can actually put it all together in a more organized distribution?
See, there's a slight paradox in what you're asking, and this is the paradox is very simple. We wanting to use a systematic approach in a chaotic situation, right? So I think the way to look at it is, and I've been involved with several other international business communities now, and what we've realized is, government and regulatory institutions are designed for stability and to resist change, right? And they will take their own time. They will take their own time, regardless of whether the house is burning down or not. They still want to figure out, shall we call the fire engine, and is there water in the tank, etc., etc., instead of picking up a bucket of sand and throwing it at the. So I'm saying that, let's look at it as two phases. The first phase is what we need to do as emergency response, in which probably the question that you're asking is not really going to get answered. But going forward, if this movement, let me call it that, if this movement has legs, then not only for fighting pandemics, but you could have a great creative collective for communication that can change behavior along the line, right?
Now, I would like to know, what if some artists or designers wanted to get involved, or anybody who wants to get involved with your project? What does that person have to do?
Well, they don't have to do anything. They just need to come there and show their work. I mean,
Somewhere.
No, so we are at this point of time. So one is the Creative Collective website, which I've shared with you, the Creative Collective of India.org, which we can show people. They can come up there and they can say, well, we are interested, and they will immediately be brought on board.
Oh,
so actually, if you look at the open source movement, one of the best things that you will see in the open source movement is the three words that they use. They say, assume good intent. So that's what we are doing. We're saying it's open source. Let's assume good intent on everybody's part.
Let's sum it all up. If you were to list 4 or 5 behavioral changes that you would like to see as the outcome of this initiative, what will they be?
They will be primarily the hashtags that we use. So wear a mask, at least till the pandemic is behind us. Keep social distance. Wash your hands. Stay home, stay safe.
So basically, you're going to keep on hammering people with these things so that the message stays and it kind of sinks in and it becomes part of the wide behavioral change.
Yes, and we want to use the techniques of humor and wit, and we want to use pep talk. These are the only two
Yeah.
things we
So
want.
basically, ye na karo, wo karo na. Huh?
You were corona, correct.
Okay.
But
Thank you, Sunil.
one of the
It's been-
things we use is bas itna to corona.
Acha.
You know.
Okay. Thank you, Sunil. It's been wonderful talking to you. Hope we will get the message out on the platform itself. Thank you.
I think I should be thanking you, because we need people like you and others to, you know, take the message across. We are just doing what we are doing, and if all of us do the best that we are doing, so I should be thanking you.
Yeah, you have to find the time. You can't say virus the time to do it.
On that note, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sunil. Thank you.